Okay, it's been about 4 years since the first Covert Hunter HEX 7 Border Archery Super Recurve came into the country, and I was lucky enough to play with it. I just heard the UPS truck come up, so we're gonna do a quick walk outside. And what I think we're gonna find is the very first set of HEX 8 limbs to come into the country. You know, it always baffles me. It takes 3 days for a letter I mail to somebody to come, but in 3 days, a set of limbs or a bow can come all the way from Scotland. So let's turn this camera around, and here we have it, right here. There we go, guys. First set of HEX 8 limbs coming to the country that I know of. So very cool. Well, we'll get to unboxing and we'll take it from there. There's Lady waiting for us, my sweetie. All right, well, we're gonna get set up and we'll start taking a look and playing with these limbs. All right, here we are, ready to open up the new HEX 8 limbs. A little bit about the HEX 8 limbs. If you followed the HEX series of limbs, I started with the 5s, went to the 6, then the 6.5s, and then the 7s, then the 7.5s, now here are the 8s. When you got to the 7s and the 7.5s, they gained weight early, but they were so smooth on the back end because you were literally gaining, just instead of a conventional recurve 2 to 3 pounds an inch, you were gaining more like a pound or a little over. With the HEX 8, you're dealing with the same type of smoothness, but more. But what the most important thing is, in my belief, it is the first limb to go negative, actually lose weight as you're coming back. I wouldn't call it compound let off from what I'm hearing. We're only talking about a pound, but the point is I'm anxious to feel the sensation and the linear smooth draw, and then actually feel a limb go basically negative, lose weight as you're coming back in. So we're gonna throw these on. This is my 19-inch Covert Hunter riser. This is a set of HEX 7s on it right now. I was using it for 3D. So we're gonna take this bow apart and we're gonna pop these on. Let me get rid of this for a second. Now I have some graphs and charts from Border that we will definitely, I'll put up on the video so you can get an idea. Now I'm ready to set the bow up. I have a tip protector. I have a brand new D97 string from Chad at Champion Bow Strings. I usually use fur on my strings. I'm gonna go something a little bit different. These are paracord, done up in little bundles, 2 black and 1 yellow. These will fray out and become almost like a wool puff, but a nylon one. I'm hearing a lot of good. I'm hearing a lot of good things about using silencers like this. They're very light and they shed water really well. So again, I just made these up. We're gonna throw them on there, and a set of limb savers. I throw limb savers on all my limbs, just in case of a bad knock, just to help with sound. I think they're a great thing. So opening it up with a Sam Lurkin Hurok. Sam's a good buddy of mine from Belgium. Just recently, this past year, achieved mastersmith status, which is awesome. Sam's been making knives for me for years. He's a great guy. Now, like I said before, it always amazes me how quick these limbs get here from Scotland. And they look rather curvy already. Super anxious to see these. Now, I'm just a big fan of the HEX series limbs. It's been, wow, that is crazy curved. Now I'll take off the 7s and I'll hold these up in a second. Let me get that bow strip down. But just right off the get-go, these things are just coming back on themselves. Just incredible. Now I've been fortunate to shoot a lot of the different HEX limbs, some prototypes. These are marked T18s, HEX 8s. As mentioned, these are marked T18, which I can imagine means trial 18s. This is the 18th version of the HEX 8 limb that the folks at Border have worked on. Very cool. So I'm going to break down this one and we'll get to it in a minute. Okay, we've got the limbs set up. I've got limb savers on them. Like I said, I put limb savers on almost every limb I shoot. I put it, just so anybody wants to know, I put them directly at the fade out. We're going to compare the HEX 8 to the HEX 7. HEX 7. Right away you can drastically see, compared to the 7, the HEX 8 is the limb that's closest to you. Much bigger curve, tucked much harder. Again, now it's the limb closest to me. As you can see, tighter curve, and again, much bigger. The limb is slightly wider as it runs up into. Yeah, these are 7s on the right, 8s on the left. So, I mean, a drastically different looking limb compared to the HEX 7. So we'll set these over there, and we'll start mounting these up. Hunting season's over. I hunt with a 17. Max just came walking in. Hold on. Let me grab Max. Come here, Max. Come here, Max. Come here. You guys got to see my bull terrier. He is a monster. He is 60 pounds of all muscle. What do you think of that, Sid? Huh? He got big. All right, back to this. Sorry. I can always pay attention to the dogs. So, again, these are going on my 19. I hunt with a 17. 3D season is going to be the next thing I'll be shooting. So I'm going to mount these on my 19-inch 3D setup. These were scaling 48 on a 17. So I'm expecting a little over 46 pounds, which should be a really nice 3D setup. Now, the HEX 8s are supposed to be 5% roughly more efficient than the HEX 7.5s. So again, they've made a nice little gain in performance, but hopefully the feel is going to be what I'm chasing. That was the first time I fit these limbs on here. As you can see, went on beautifully. Let me turn this around. Now that is a 19-inch CH Phenolic and carbon riser bow with HEX 8s. First one in the States. And it looks nasty. It would even look nastier probably on my 17th because it would just pull it in like a big Cape Buffalo horn thing. Really aggressive curve. Look at that. That is awesome. This has all their features on it, meaning it's tapped for a stabilizer, it's tapped for a quiver, it's tapped for the up quiver, it has the adjustable side plate. It's got everything. Hold on. Here, a lady came over. We're gonna grab her now, hold on. Ugh. This is Lady, Max's little sister. She's a sweetheart and she's super terrier. She's about 55 pounds. Okay, got my string ready. This is D97. I tied in the paracord, 3 strands each. These should puff out. Let me find the bottom loop. And Chad makes a great string. I've never had a problem with any of them ever coming apart on me. They've been super durable. Last I heard, Sid was only recommending either Fast Fight or D97. I've hunted with D97 for years, but I've always had good luck with it. So that's not a hardship to me. I like D97 as a string. All right, let's string these bad boys up for the first time. Let me just get my string right. Now, if you're wondering, I don't have a cameraman following me. That is an iPhone 10 set up on an Osmo. Now, I didn't break out my big cameras for this because I've been having such success filming with an iPhone 10. All right, let's see how these things string. And that was easy. Sure we're on tracks. There it goes. Again, the big hook string really easy. I don't know why people say they don't. Okay, sorry about that. The Osmo, when I bent down to string the boat, stopped tracking me. I just learned how to use it, and all things have their problems. So that is the strung profile of the HEX 8s on a 19-inch Covert Hunter. I checked the brace. Haven't even drawn it, and it's right at about 7 1/8. So I'm sure, again, it's a brand new string. I'm sure when I pull it back a few times and maybe let it sit overnight like this, it's going to drop to 6 7/8 easy. So that is the profile of the HEX 8s, braced slightly high. First time I've strung it. Just looks beautiful. So here's the moment of truth. Drawing the new HEX 8 limbs. I have no knock point on, so we're just going to try to eye it up a little bit. Okay. Wow. I just want to dump the string. So what I'm getting, and I'll pull this way now, is just more of a good thing. You pick up the weight off the bottom, and as you hit about 25-ish inches, you start getting this very linear feel. Then all of a sudden, again, we're talking about only about a little less than a pound is what I guess I'm feeling. You get this incredibly smooth linear pull all the way through. It helps me, or right there, it has kicked over kind of, settling way back, and wow, just super smooth. This video is not going to be released for a while. Sid had sent me these limbs to play with and experiment with and get back to him, and that's what I'm going to do. So over the next couple of days, weeks, I'm going to get this bow tuned up. We're going to see how it feels, how it sounds. I'll get a lot of video on it, and then don't know when, but eventually this video will be released, and I imagine, as everyone knows, you can order HEX 8s now, I believe. I don't know if he has a release date yet, but I know they're gearing up to release them. By the time this video is released, you will be able to order them for sure. So again, the boys from Scotland do a kick-ass job, the HEX 8. Look up there, look up there. Oh, what is that? What is that, boy? What is that, boy? Nice job. They don't like that. All right, I've been shooting it for a little bit now. The nylon string puffs are opening up. Actually working out really cool. These are super light. Like I said, each one's a little less than 10 grains. per silencer, which is a decent weight. Seems to be working well. First impressions of shooting the bow. It's an improvement. It's a pretty big improvement over what the 7s were. I didn't feel a big difference from the 7 to the 7.5s. Slightly, I knew there was a difference, but if you would have handed me a bow set up with 7s and 7.5s, and I'd be blindfolded and shot them, I wouldn't really know the difference. The 8s are a big jump from the 7s and the 7.5s. They're just infinitely smooth. Not rubber bandy, not bungee-like at all. They just, like I said, they're just very, very smooth. You gain weight early on, but as you come back, you get to a point in the draw stroke where you definitely feel it go like almost like a negative feel. It just feels real silky smooth. I was shooting the HEX 7 limb on here at the same weight, and it was eating a 400 spine 225, 29.25. I'm shooting a 340 on the HEX 8s to tune well. 225 up front, 29.25 actual length it turned out to be anyway. My point is, nothing changed center shot, but the bow, same weight HEX 7, same weight HEX 8s. The HEX 8 requires one stiffer spine. So that tells me right away, I haven't put on a chronograph yet or anything, but it's telling me that it's definitely making more energy. And it is whipping the arrow. It's throwing these, it's 48 on a 60-inch bow. This is a 62, so I'm probably 47. Maybe 46 and change. It's throwing a 340 very, very hard and super quiet. And again, the HEX 8, in all the super recurve limbs, there's always that little post buzz or post hum people feel. The HEX 8, you barely feel anything. It's a real rock steady, real dead in the hand. It's a really sweet shooting bow. I think a shot like this emphasizes why the CH are such neat little hunting bows. I'm basically shooting a 62-inch recurve, sitting on my heels, vertical. What other 62-inch bow can you shoot vertical, basically sitting on your heels? Max thinks there's a squirrel in the tree. Here, look. What's in the tree, Max? What's up there? Is there something up there? He says, yes, there's a squirrel somewhere in that vicinity. Look at him. Okay. The old through the branches into the deer shot. Ooh.
Yeah, Raj.
George is up. Go ahead, George. You gotta step forward more. All right, the paracord string puffs have puffed out really cool. I think they're working really well. Just a super cheap, really good idea. If you're a fan of the HEX series limbs, the HEX 8 is just more of a good thing. I think that the SIDS have really gotten a limb in the HEX 8 that they've always been striving to get to. It's got a unique feel. It packs a lot of wallop. It's incredibly smooth. It's something that I really do think that, as usual, Border's setting the bar for what a super recurve can be. And with the HEX 8, I think they've, or will be positioning themselves to really still show their dominance in the super recurve area. Again, Border Bows of Scotland, the Sids and their families, fantastic, fantastic. Revolution again with the HEX 8. Thanks for looking, and I'm sure this limb is going to make a lot of people happy. I really don't know how much they're going to be able to get this better than it is. Really is an awesome shooting rig. Thanks.